welcome to Knotfest Daily.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, doing wonderfully. How are you both doing?
Good. Doing great. Doing great. Ready to get out there.
Yes, I can imagine as this Friday you'll finally hit the road up on the from the sewer tour with the Black Dahlia murder. So does it feel a little bit surreal that you'll actually be on tour once again?
Yeah, it's been 17, 18 months at this point. So we've been rehearsing for the last 2 weeks, getting everything real tight and locked down, and everything's sounding real good. We all feel great, and we're super excited to get back out there and get the machine turned back on.
Yeah.
Is there
Full gear.
something in spe- No, I was gonna say, is there something in specific that you're kind of missing the most throughout all of this time that you're just most excited to actually be able to do again? Is it the fans being on stage? What's kind of been that missing piece?
Oh, it's a little bit of everything. I think it's just kind of the whole experience altogether. Being out on the road with our friends, being able to travel from state to state, and of course being on stage and being able to play for everybody. Yeah. After all this time, I think everyone's gonna really have a good time, and I hope that for sure. Yeah, we're excited for everything.
Yeah, ready to get started again, and feel the energy of people in a room having a good time, and all there for the same reason. So yeah, can't wait.
And something that's going to be super exciting about this tour is you'll actually be able to perform some brand new songs. So before we dive into the upcoming album release, the last thing I wanted to ask you about touring is what is that one item you need to pack when it comes to being on the road? You can't just leave the house without it.
Probably earplugs for me, just because we have snorers, and I also have a really like fancy like eye mask that I wear because if
Ooh,
you're up late and you have to sleep during the day, you need to put the blinds on.
right.
Uh, Infinite pack of hearing aid batteries for me.
Yeah,
Can't leave home without them.
yeah.
Otherwise, I'd
Same.
permanently be walking around with invisible earplugs in my ears at all times. So, yeah.
Having that, does that make any difference when it comes to being on tour in a way, aside from obviously having to charge that kind of stuff? I mean, I'd love to just know a little bit more about that and how it kind of does influence and impact being on the road.
It's a really interesting thing because it's like at home, I kind of adapt in my social environment, in my home environment, to be able to meet a social standard where I can hear what's going on for the most part. On the road, it's a little bit different. Sometimes I'm not always in the loop of things, but I kind of always have to put myself, out there, kind of hear what's going on. But on stage, I kind of forget about that, and I try to just jump into it and have a good time, and you know, remember why I came here to do this. We're all here
Mhm.
to have a good time. Wow, it's
It's so
challenging.
cheesy,
It's challenging for sure. Yeah.
right? And it's so cheesy, but that really is the beauty of music, how you can absolutely just zone out of all the other things that are kind of going on and just focus on what you are there to do, which is, of course, play these amazing songs for everybody. And speaking to those songs, in less than a month's time, you'll release your brand new record, The Work. Now, obviously, a ridiculous amount of work goes into writing an album, but to each of you, what's the symbolism behind that title?
I mean, for me personally, I mean, it's just our biggest musical offering to the world thus far. It being our fourth record and everything. It's our longest album. It's our highest track count. It's our densest album sonically. I mean, it's a wall of sound, really. Really focused on kind of creating a record that sounds like you're stepping into a place rather than just listening to an album. Wanted to like really create like an immersive experience on this record and all of that. So I think that the work, it for better or worse, it very much is a piece of work.
I think one of
Yeah,
the most interesting I like that. I was like, I second that.
it's like
But I
that.
think one of the most interesting things about the album is that it's not just a straight up metal release. You have some really unique elements on there, like saxophone featured and more of the clean vocals as well. So, what made you want to add these elements and add just a whole different dynamic to the music itself?
I mean, we've always just sort of, really strive to just be, just kind of weirdos, like never, really, we've never really clicked in with like one specific like subgenre or whatever. We've always kind of like pulled things from different types of metal or just music in general. So I think on this record in particular, we just really wanted to just really go way out there and just like you know basically put ourselves on an island all by ourselves, like for better or worse. Like, I think on this record, when you hear it, you're going to know that it's Rivers of Nile because I can't think of another record out there right now that just sounds quite like this. Like I said, for better or worse. But I think that, part of that is just kind of all of the sort of different, sonic elements that we pulled from for this like color palette on the new record, and of course saxophone and synthesizers and clean vocals and field recordings are all part of that, creating this work. So yeah, we just we like to experiment and just be real weird and do stuff that makes people go, oh, what was that? So yeah, that's really just all part of it for us.
The first time I realized that's what the band's all about, I would have to say, especially for this release, was when I heard Focus, because it's absolutely crazy and so dynamic in the best of ways. And we were kind of talking about this before we went live, but the music video, I just feel like I'm immersed in watching a scene from a horror film. So, are there any horror movie lovers in the band? Was that kind of a big inspiration going into creating that video?
I mean, yeah, I mean, we're a bunch of us are like movie guys. I don't know if necessarily like there was any specific like horror movies that we had in mind when we were making the video. I think we kind of just wanted to sort of just create just like a really kind of dark, dark kind of energy. Like when you see that video clip or you listen to that song, it's just like it's a heavy vibe, and it's a dark vibe. And like, I think
Mhm.
that, all the stuff that went into the song and the video just kind of like reinforces that sort of like, yeah, just like super heavy, like, weight on your shoulders kind of feeling. I mean, we just really wanted to do anything that we could to make the song or elevate the song, visually and just like really put people into a mood really. And yeah, of course, like I've had a lot of people, mention like, Ridley Scott, like when they see that clip, like it looks like something out of an alien film,
Yeah,
which is like, it wasn't intentional, but like, that's not a bad compliment to receive. Dave Brodsky's, who directed it, knocked it out of the park, and we couldn't be happier with how it turned out. So yeah, really excited to play that song on tour, and excited for more people to check the video out for sure.
I absolutely loved it. I feel like it's magic when you have a song that good and a video that lives up to it. It was just so much fun to watch. But the last thing I wanted to ask you both about today, Brody, I know that you're a fellow Twitch streamer, and I love Twitch as a platform. And at the same time, you can see some absolutely bizarre stuff online. So, what's one of the weirdest comments you've seen about the band online or just about yourselves in general?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I've seen stuff like comments come in that honestly just look like somebody's writing in like some kind of like strange religious text. Like I don't know if it's like something like, yeah, just like talking about like all caps like the demon from the seventh rising of the third sun will like we get those every now and then, and like I don't know if it's like
Wow,
someone trolling us or someone, religious zealot kind of like going for it or whatever. But yeah, those are always real funny ones to see when they're just kind of out of context, all capital letters. You know,
right.
yeah, just real serious, like what is going on? But yeah, that's those are usually my favorites, just the strange ones, I guess, like that.
And how about yourself, Jake? Anything you've come across over the years where you're just thinking, I can't believe I just read that?
Your
Honestly,
dance. I mean, people talk about your dance you did in the Owls video.
uh,
I don't know.
people like to crack jokes on my dance moves, and I can't hate it. I just sit back and smile.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
so I'm not like a big person that goes in and dives in and reads comics and stuff like that. But every now and then, I'll like check stuff out. When it's first coming out, and yeah, I don't know. I welcome everything. I
Yeah.
welcome it all.
I love
Whatever.
that.
All attention is good attention. So
Yes.
that's how I say it.
Beautifully put. I always say, love me or hate me, still an obsession. You're still drawing attention to this great music. So, Rivers of Nile, I want to say thank you so, so much for coming on, for discussing the work, which everybody can get on September 24th. It has been awesome being able to chat with you too. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much.
Of course. Everyone watching, this has been Rivers of Nile. I know you can't hear him, but everyone's giving you a big round of applause at home with me. So, thank you so, so much, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.